Hit pause if you're afraid to learn the truth about relationships in the royal family, because it's about to get hot. Meghan Markle is back in the headlines, but not with the story she dreamed of. The second season of her show, With Love Meghan, is bombing spectacularly, and the public's reaction is a cold shower. Why are the millions of viewers who have been begging for years to see even a glimpse of Archie and Lilibet now accusing her of exploiting her children? What lies behind the scenes where the babies' faces are covered with hearts and the gossip industry is happy to work even with a child's shadow? Who is really pulling the strings in this family reality show? Meghan assured everyone that her children are safe, that the filming is taking place in another house, away from cameras and paparazzi. But is that really true? What traps does publicity set when your main asset is your own child? Or is all this drama a desperate attempt to save a project that is falling apart before our very eyes? The other day, Meghan decided to go all in and published photos of the children, naturally in a way that the faces were not even vaguely visible, just two red-haired crowns of a boy and a girl who are sitting at a small monitor, watching their mother and team film the show. And on September 2nd, she finished off the public with a photo of her mother, whom she tenderly congratulated on her birthday. And that's it. You could start counting down to the moment when the Duchess was accused of dragging the children into the spotlight, just to revive her fading project. And this, despite the fact that she claimed to be filming the show in another house next door to protect the children from the noise and all this stuff. The internet is seething. Family exploitation. And some are shouting, although others, by the way, have been begging for years to see at least a glimpse of the Sussexes' family life. And there you have it. Meghan went all in, but instead of ovations, she got tomatoes. What went wrong? Meghan apparently decided that if her culinary lifestyle show, With Love Meghan, didn't take off in the first season, then the second season needed to be saved by any means available. And what better means than adorable children? She posted a series of photos from the set, where her 6-year-old son Archie is holding a clapperboard, and 4-year-old Lilibet is comfortably settled in the director's chair. The children's faces, of course, are carefully covered with emoji hearts. Meghan has repeatedly stated that she wants to protect them from public attention. But even these shots, where Archie in a red GB soccer school t-shirt proudly participates in the process, and Lilibet in a pink sweater curiously watches the filming, caused a storm of criticism. "She uses children for PR," exclaims royal expert Hugo Vickers, arguing that even Prince Harry is probably not thrilled with this move. According to him, Harry, who does what he is told, must be annoyed, and the children themselves, as they grow up, will understand how they were exploited. The internet chimed in, talks about online safety but puts children on display herself, writes one user. Another adds, "Poor Archie and Lilibet, they are pawns in their mother's pursuit of fame." And this is despite the fact that fans have been whining for years. "Show us the children, Meghan, we want to see Family Idol." Well, she showed them. And now what? By the way, the photos also revealed that Archie is a promising football player. The boy attends an elite British football camp in Studio City, which is more than 100 kilometers from the Sussexes' mansion in Montecito. 8 lessons cost $2,000, and parents are required to attend each one. Apparently, Meghan or Harry travel back and forth to support the young athlete. This, of course, is sweet, but critics here too found something to complain about. Why show the camp's t-shirt? It's advertising. Well, Meghan, hold on. It was not without Doria Ragland, Meghan's mother, who at 69 became another trump card in the promo campaign. Recently, information appeared that the mother went home to the USA so as not to hear her daughter's lamentations about how everything is not going as she planned. And no one has really seen the mother near the Sussexes for a long time. On Doria's birthday, Meghan posted a story on the web with a kiss on the cheek and the caption, "Happy birthday, my beautiful mother," against the background of Stevie Wonder's song, "Happy Birthday." What could be more touching? Doria, who it turns out lives next door in a granny flat in the Sussexes' mansion, has always been their support. She even lived with them in Frogmore Cottage for more than a month after Archie was born, helping the young family. Harry, in his book Spare, called her a pillar for him and Meghan. But here, too, Meghan did not please. The internet immediately whispered, "This is not just a birthday. It's part of the promotion of the show." Doria has already flashed in the first season of With Love Meghan at a holiday brunch, where she, in a stylish orange outfit, admired the salad from garden vegetables. "Oh, Mom has arrived!" exclaimed Meghan then, a surprise out of the blue. But instead of touching the public, these moments aroused suspicion. Is Doria just another tool to raise ratings? Even her rare appearance on camera, literally for a second, did not save her from accusations of exploiting the family image. And now, about the show itself. With Love Meghan for the second season in a row is trying to be everything at once: a culinary guide, a lifestyle show, and a window into Meghan's life. But judging by the reviews, it doesn't cope with anything. On Rotten Tomatoes, the second season received a pathetic 1.8 out of 5, and the first, slightly better, 2.1. Critics call it boring, contrived, and on the verge of unbearable. One reviewer even wrote that the show is where inappropriateness meets irritation. Viewers complain. Meghan slowly cuts onions, puts edible flowers near the stove for some reason, and her recipes, like pasta with garlic and lemons, raise questions. British Vogue generally wondered, what is all this for? In the show, Meghan tried to add stardust by inviting Chrissy Teigen and Jamie Kern-Lima. But here too, failure. Teigen, who once tweeted to 16-year-old Courtney Stodden to kill herself, for which she later apologized, caused a new wave of outrage. How could Meghan invite her? Users are indignant, and their chatter about the days on the show Deal or No Deal, where both were suitcase girls, only added fuel to the fire. Meghan recalled how they stood in line for false eyelashes, and Teigen added that the eyelashes were then handed over to Ziploc bags to be reused. Cute? Maybe. But the internet decided that it was empty and boring chatter. The funniest thing is that Meghan fell into a classic trap. Give the public what it wants, and you'll still be to blame. Fans have been asking for more family moments for years, complaining that Archie and Lilibet are invisible, and Harry and Meghan are too closed. And there you go. Meghan shares snippets of family life. Archie with a clapperboard, Lilibet in a chair, Doria at brunch. She even said that she makes pancakes with flax seeds for her children, and Lilibet asks for seeds to make freckles. But instead of, "Oh, how lovely," Meghan received the label of exploiter. Critics seem to have forgotten that they themselves demanded more personal. Now they accuse her of using children to save a failing show. One user on social networks wrote, "She cut off the children from their grandfathers and cousins in England, and now she puts them on display for likes." Another added, "Meghan is desperately trying to keep the attention." And this despite the fact that the show did not even make it into the top 300 of Netflix with a pathetic 5.3 million views. For comparison, old episodes of Suits with Meghan as Rachel Zane are watched much more willingly. By the way, where is our husband? Prince Harry also flashed in the show, in the first season, but so much so that it was easier not to notice. In the final, he appears at brunch, holds a glass, and says to Meghan, "Well done, you did great." In the second season, the prince looks at the audience exclusively from photos. According to insiders, Harry was super polite on the set, but clearly wanted it to be Meghan's moment. Well, or just didn't want to shine in the frame. The internet, of course, found a reason for gossip here too. Harry looks like he was forced to act. Blink if you are being held captive. It seems that even his modest cameo did not save the show from the label boring. Therefore, in the second season, they decided to leave him alone. Meghan apparently sincerely believed that family shots and warm moments with Doria would melt the hearts of viewers. She even shared a playlist from the set, Dancing in the Moonlight and Into the Mystic, to create the right atmosphere. But instead of applause, she received another barrage of criticism. Maybe it's because the public wants something different from Meghan, or that her sincerity, as Daily Mail columnist Maureen Callahan wrote, seems pathologically inauthentic. As a result, Meghan found herself in a stalemate. She gave fans what they asked for, glimpses of family life, but instead of gratitude, she is accused of cynical PR. With Love, Meghan is falling lower and lower, critics are coming up with new derogatory epithets, and the internet is seething with indignation. Maybe it's time for Meghan to change tactics, or just give up and cook another portion of pasta with lemons. In the end, as one commentator said, if the show fails, you can always sell as ever jams. Well, at least someone is buying something from her. Once upon a time, Prince Harry was a red-haired rebel who conquered hearts with his cocky smile and military bearing. Well, at least there is such a legend, but in 2025, in sunny Montecito, he turned into a fox, not because he is such a cunning fox, but because Meghan Markle has to remind him daily that he is still handsome. Welcome to a world where the former Duke of Sussex struggles with a balding head, complexes about British teeth, and public confessions from his wife that, according to rumors, make him feel less of a man. This is the story of how royal blood does not save from Hollywood beauty standards, and how Meghan, unintentionally, turns Harry into a character in her own reality show. They say that in Los Angeles, appearance is currency, and apparently Harry feels that his wallet is emptying faster than his hair. Insiders say that the prince, who is already 40, is obsessed with his appearance. The red hair, once his calling card, is thinning very noticeably. He's not a jock, not a yoga fan. He has British teeth, chubby cheeks, freckles, and a bald spot. An insider is quoted as saying, adding that Harry feels completely ugly among the glossy fitness gurus and vegans of Montecito. The solution? A secret trip for a hair transplant. Sometime in 2017, fans noticed that his hair suddenly became thicker, and rumors about the prince's improvement spun very intensely. But alas, a miracle did not happen. The transplant didn't work, sources claim, and now Harry, according to them, looks in the mirror every day and asks Meghan, "I'm still something, right?" Meghan, like a true Hollywood diva, answers him with the nickname Fox, either jokingly or to cheer him up. "You're my little fox," she says, and it has become a daily ritual to raise his fragile ego. If anything, that's how the media sees it all. But let's be honest. If you have to be reminded every day that you are not ugly, it's no longer a compliment, but a mission to save self-esteem. Harry's former hairdresser, Sam McKnight, even publicly advised him to either shave his head bald or try another transplant. Modern procedures look natural. He hinted that the first attempt was not a masterpiece. But Harry is silent, and so far, apparently, is no longer engaged in improving his appearance. If baldness is Harry's personal tragedy, then Meghan adds public drama to it. In the new season of her show with Love, Meghan on Netflix, she smiled as she told how Harry was the first to confess his love to her. It happened on their third date in a tent in Botswana, where they enjoyed 5 days of romance under the stars. "He said, 'I love you first,'" Meghan giggled in a conversation with Tan France from Queer Eye. Sounds cute, right? But for Harry, it was a blow below the belt. And it's surprising, as if he doesn't know his wife, who will eventually tell everything, holding back the facts only to put them out at the right time. But sources assure that he is furious and feels humiliated. Why? Because in his opinion, it makes him weak and emasculated. Apparently, in Harry's world, confessing love first is not romance, but surrendering positions. He has been trying to appear strong all his life, says an insider, and now Meghan, unintentionally, has exposed him as a puppy in love. For a man who once piloted helicopters and fought with paparazzi, being the hero of a love ballad on Netflix is, to put it mildly, not what he dreamed of. Meghan thinks it's cute, but Harry thinks their personal moments are being turned into a show, another source complains. And while Meghan is building her brand, talking about butterflies in the stomach, and calling her husband Fox, Harry, according to rumors, feels like a puppet in her glossy performance. Imagine that. He saw the light. Life in Montecito, where every other person is a smoothie guru or a yoga millionaire, doesn't help. Harry, with his British teeth and red freckles, feels like a tourist at a glamorous party, where he was invited by mistake. Meghan, on the contrary, is in her element. She is launching a wellness brand, filming a show on Netflix, and communicating with celebrities. And Harry? He, according to insiders, is looking for something to do. Their lives, it seems, have diverged like ships. She is immersed in work, and he feels increasingly pushed into the background. They live under one roof, but essentially lead different lives, sources claim. Meghan, of course, tries. Every day she calls him Fox, praises his hair, or what's left of it. But it's more like trying to comfort a child who didn't make it to the football team. And here comes the piquant moment, rumors of a possible breakup. The media is sure that Meghan still needs Harry for her brand, but divorce is not far off. It sounds like the plot of a soap opera, but in a world where personal life is content, such gossip is inevitable. Harry, according to rumors, is already splashing his dissatisfaction on friends. Does he still have them? Complaining that Meghan talks too much about their relationship. But Meghan is not giving up. On the podcast, she assures that she and Harry are together forever. True, her words about the trenches in which they have been when leaving the palace doesn't sound so impressive anymore. A new contract with Netflix, rumored to be smaller than their previous $100 million deal, adds fuel to the fire. They no longer get blank checks to write out any amount, quips an insider, hinting that the pressure is mounting on the couple. Meghan uses their love story as a trump card for the show, but for Harry, it's just another reason to feel soft. He doesn't want to be a lovesick puppy in her narrative, but he seems to have little choice. While Meghan flirts with the camera and talks about Botswana, Harry, reportedly, dreams of the days when he was seen as a hero, not as a backdrop for her wellness empire. It suddenly brings to mind Shrek with his day when he became an evil ogre, but without the family. It was fun, but short-lived. An independent Harry will also quickly get bored without his leader. So, what do we have? Prince Harry, once a symbol of rebellion, is now battling baldness and complexes, while Meghan calls him Fox, and accidentally, or not so accidentally, portrays him as a romantic with a bruised ego. His attempt to save his hair has failed, and his attempt to maintain a masculine image is also in question. In Montecito, where every other person looks like a model, Harry feels like an outsider, and Meghan seems to enjoy the role of director of their life. But let's give her credit. Calling her husband Fox every day so he doesn't get sad about his hair is already a feat. And Harry? Maybe it's time to follow McKnight's advice and shave his head. New image, new life, brutal again. Because frankly, in this Hollywood fairy tale, he already looks more like a poodle than a fox.